Hi, so today I'm going to be making another card video, and today's card I'm making a bamboo background, as well as it's a kind of like a panda card, because I'm using this panda from the new Pandemonium stamp set that I got. I got the stamp and die set in my last craft haul video, and I was really happy to go ahead and get to use this set and make this card. So as you see here, I'm going to make the background first, and it's a really simple background. All you have to do is use your distress inks. I'm using the distress ink in Shabby Shutters. It's a really nice softer green color, and I'm going to go ahead and put it over the entire background. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It's not even going to be very noticeable. So don't worry about it being splotchy or having marks of your distressing tool. Anything that happens, it should be okay with this first layer, because we are going to be adding another layer of ink afterward. Now I have this Elizabeth's Crafts Design embossing folder. It's the bamboo embossing folder. And I'm going ahead and I'm going to emboss this distressed piece. I'm just lining it up. Make sure that you have it so that the bamboo stalks are kind of more straight, and make sure that the embossing kind of goes almost all the way to the edge. And I have my solo platform here. It's the long one because I have the Vagabond. And I'm just going to go ahead and run that through my Vagabond. You just have the solo platform, one clear plate, then my embossing folder, and then my top clear plate. Now as you see here, that already looks really nice by itself, just embossing with that simple Shabby Shutters background. But I'm going to bring out that bamboo embossing, and the only way to do that is to add more ink on top. And how I'm going to do that is I'm using this distress ink in Crushed Olive, and it's a really nice, it's my favorite green of all the distress inks, and I'm really happy to use it here. It's pretty much just a darker color of the Shabby Shutters, and I'm going ahead and just using it and inking over the top and making sure that I have a really light hand. You want to make sure that when you're doing this, you have a light hand, and that you're not going to, if you push too hard, then the ink's just going to go over the whole entire background, and it's not going to only touch the raised areas. You want to make it so that it only touches the raised, and as you see there, it makes a big difference. And as you see here, this is my finished piece. I just went ahead and inked over the whole background. And then now I'm going to go on to the next step, which is to make a little hill on the bottom of the card. And to do that, I have some craft cardstock here. You can go ahead and start with white cardstock, but to make it easier on me, I'm just using some craft cardstock. And I'm going ahead and taking my scissors. You want to kind of use a sharp, long pair of scissors. It's important to use a long pair just because you want it to be very smooth, your cutting. And you want to make sure that you don't have so many jagged edges as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut out a kind of a slopey bottom to it, and I'm going ahead and just to define that edge and to make it look and stand out a little bit more, I'm going ahead and taking my distress blending tool. This is the old rectangle tool. It's just that I don't have the refills of the circular one, so I can't use all my distressing colors, so I have to use this tool until I get more refills of the small round blending tool. But until then, as you see here, I'm using the Distress Ink Mini in the Vintage Photo, and I'm going ahead and using it and putting the ink from the top, from the edge in, and I'm just making a really nice dark brown defined edge, and it has some really nice shading to it, and to me it turns out really nice. And it makes it look so much better than if you just left the craft cardstock alone. So I really like doing that. I've really been liking my distress inks the mini inks, because before I wasn't able to buy all the distress inks because of the reason that it's too expensive to buy all the 36 colors of the full size. So now I'm kind of growing my collection of the mini ink pads, and I'm going to probably be able to get them all in the future. So because of that reason, I'm really liking them. I just do have to get the round refills because my local craft store never got them in yet. But when he does, I do need to get the refills, and then I can buy more of the mini sets. And as you see here, that's pretty much it. I just used some adhesive and adhered that bottom piece down. Now also, it comes with 5 pandas and a mini panda in the Pandemonium stamp set. So I use this one on the one card. So there's the 5 larger pandas. I'm going to be using this one that's kind of sitting down on the card today. You can use pretty much any of them and they would all work fine. I'm just going to use IG2 and IG1 in Spectrum Noir, the second generation markers. I'm going ahead and just using the chit or the smaller tip and going ahead and I'm coloring, just kind of shading it toward the bottom, everywhere toward the bottom, and going ahead and I'm gonna blend that out with using IG1, which both of these are very light grays, and then afterward I'm gonna go ahead and use my colorless blender and blend that out. Now, the only reason why I'm doing this is that to get it to look really white, I don't want it to look gray. But to get it to look really white and nice, if you look at real animals during the day, they all have shadows, and the shadows are usually gray. So because of that reason, a white panda can be slightly gray, and it would look in the shadows, and it just makes it look so much better. If you left it stark white, it wouldn't have that dimension that it has after you add that really light pale grays. Now, as you see here, even to add more to this, I'm gonna go ahead and I have this die cut heart. I use it's from the Lawn Fawn Stitch Rectangling card die, or the 3x4 journaling card die. It has many different sets or many different dies in that set, and one of them is it cuts about 5 or 6 of these hearts. So I just went ahead and die cut them out of white cardstock and colored them with my red Copic marker. And that is just really how I did it. I'm using my EK Success two-way glue pen to adhere this down, and I'm making it look like it's like the heart is it's just making the heart really stand out. And then I'm going ahead and I'm going to add some Winka Stella on that as well. Now in the Pandemonium stamp set, there is a heart that you're able to use. I'm going to be showing that in the future, that you can just stamp it in a nice bright red ink, maybe a pigment ink, and it'll maybe go over that black color. But I decided, just because I already have these red die cut hearts already die cut, that I thought that was easier. Now I also after I put the Winka Stella, I put the glossy accents over it, and it just that my glossy accents got clogged, so I had to shut the video off. Now as you see there, I just added the glossy accents to the red heart, and I'm just putting it on the side to let it dry a little bit. Now also from this stamp set, the In My Heart stamp set, I used that Thinking of You on the first card, but now I'm using this other one that says we may be miles apart, but we are always close in my heart. So I think that's a really nice sentiment from the In My Heart stamp set as well. In the In My Heart stamp set, it has many different words and greetings that are really nice to use. So it's really nice to pair them up with all the other Mama Elephant stamp sets as well as your other stamp sets as well. I'm using the Inka Dinka Do embossing powder tool to make sure that I don't have any static cling to my vellum, as well as maybe some oil from my fingers. Also, now I'm taking my Martha Stewart, this is the Brownstone pigment ink pad. It's my only brown pigment ink right at this moment. So I'm going ahead and stamping it in this ink onto the vellum, because of the reason that you can't really use a regular dye ink on vellum. You would have to either use StazOn or something kind of more permanent, or I like using a pigment ink and going ahead and using some clear embossing powder and clear embossing it. So I'm going ahead and I just stamped it. You want to be careful just because the vellum is slick and you don't want it to shift and get a bad image. So I'm just going ahead, I stamped it down lightly, and I'm going ahead and taking this clear embossing powder, making sure that I get the clear embossing powder over the entire sentiment, and I'm going to go ahead and take it onto the side and use my Zap Heat tool from American Crafts and go ahead and heat emboss that. Now my panda's heart is already dry, and I'm going ahead and using this EK Success. It's the thinner foam adhesive, and I'm just going to go ahead and adhere this onto the bottom left side of the card, and that's just going to make it look really nice. You can put it the Panda wherever you like. I just thought to put it on the left side and then put my sentiment toward the right side. And that's how it worked out. So as you see there, my vellum piece is heat embossed, and I'm going ahead and kind of centering it or making it on the card where I want it. Now also I kind of make a crease in my vellum, and just to make sure that it's straight, I make sure that it's really straight and that lines up with the other piece of the vellum. And then I take my bone folder and go ahead and crease that so it's really creased, and that I know that for sure that it will make sure that it'll hold on to the cardstock and that there's not any little gap. So as you see there, I added some tape runner onto that little piece panel on that side, the left side, and going ahead and I'm kind of lining it up, making sure that it's lined up on the right side. And then I'm just going to go ahead and make a crease there, and then turn it over, open it up, put some adhesive down, and then turn it back over and make sure that it's all straight and that I really am liking where it is, and then going ahead and pushing it down really well. Then I'm going to go ahead and put adhesive on the entire back of the card, and then now I'm adhering it onto a dark brown card base, and I'm making sure that it's lined up, and this is my finished card. So thanks for watching. Please visit my blog at micahscrafts.blogspot.com. I haven't updated it in a while, but I will update it soon, and it'll be in the description bar below. And thanks for watching. Please subscribe, please leave your comments below, and have a great day. Bye.